Alrighty, let's get started with this. Okay, so let's talk about how to pay the government less money and keep more for ourselves. So I want to make a caveat that I am not a certified accountant. All right, I just have 8 years experience in network marketing, deductions and taxes and that sort of thing. So that's what we're going with. All right, but I'm always going to suggest, consult with a CPA for complete tax information. So tonight we're going to talk about filing methods, organizational methods, and then also deductions. So I put this picture here because this whole trip was a tax deduction. We went on vacation and every part of it I got to take away from the money that I was paying to the government. So there's so many things that we as small business owners don't really think about being a tax deduction, but they really are. And so I don't want you to miss out on this. Okay, so filing methods. A lot of you probably started your account with your social security number. Obviously, really quick, really easy are the pros. Cons, you are paying significantly more taxes this way. The other option is to get a tax ID number and start a business. So the pros is you're going to pay a whole lot less tax and you're going to have more deductions. The cons are that there's a startup fee, there's an annual fee, and you have to file an annual report with your state, basically saying this business is still active and I'm still using it. If you don't file an annual report, then you get charged $400. Okay? So ask me how I know that. Okay. So here are the filing methods. So to start a small business or an LLC, limited liability corporation, in Florida, you'll go to sunbiz.org. You can also just go to Google and type in small business administration for your state. Or you can go to the SBA.gov website and find your state, SBA's Small Business Association with the government. In Florida, it's about $150 to start your LLC. And what an LLC does is it protects your personal assets. So what does that mean? It means that, let's say that you gave someone a sample of something, right? Like you gave them a sample of sleep and they had a major allergic reaction and they wanted to sue you, let's just say, okay? Then what that would do, and having an LLC would protect your personal assets. They wouldn't be able to come after what you have personally. They would only be able to come after what your business has. So as also of 2018, there's a 20% deduction of your business income from your personal taxes. That is your personal income tax. That's a huge deduction. So there's a lot of really good bonuses of owning an LLC to have a business like this. So if you do get an LLC, I'm going to suggest that you file as what's called an S Corp. There's a C Corp, which is like a normal corporation. And then, and then there's an S Corp. It's honestly just a filing status. It's not something that when you go on and start your business, they're going to be like, oh, do you want to be a C Corp or an S Corp? It's a form that your accountant fills out for you. So what filing as an S Corp does is it actually makes you an employee of your own company. So your company is operating and then you are the only employee, or you and your spouse are the employee. So at the end of the year, you as an employee of your company get a W-2 from your company. And that's what you use to file your personal taxes with. So you'll have business taxes and then you'll have personal taxes that you have to do, okay? Filing as an S Corp also allows you to save on Social Security and Medicare taxes, which are a big deal. And the big thing is that you're only paying taxes on your profits. So what that means is that, let's say you earn $20,000 from Vasayo, and let's say you pay yourself $10,000. And then you have another $5,000 in deductions. That's leaving $5,000 left over in profit. That's what you're paying taxes on. As opposed to if you filed under your Social Security number, you're paying 100% tax on all of it. It's actually like 20% tax on all of that income versus just paying tax on the profit. Okay. So like I said, it's a Form 2553. You don't even have to worry about that. Your accountant will take care of that. Okay. Organizational methods. This might be one of the most important parts of this whole training, is how the heck do I stay organized in my taxes and make sure that they're up to date? And at the end of the year, I'm not a stress ball trying to figure out how to make this work. So one option is a pen and paper. More power to you if that's your method. I wouldn't wish that on anyone, but if you want to be old school and you want to have a dedicated notebook and you want to have taxes on your mind all the time, then that is an organizational method. I cannot condone that method though, but it is obviously a method. So what I use is called Expensify. Expensify.com is either free and you can manually put in your information, your deductions. We're going to talk about that. Or you can pay a measly $5 a month and you can connect a debit card, credit card, and it automatically enters that stuff for you. Hallelujah. What is that? Do something automatic for my taxes? Yeah, we'll do that. Especially for $5 a month, like take my money. So my third suggested organizational method is to choose a single bank account. For the love of all that is holy, choose one bank account, just one. So with your tax ID number, you're able to open up a business account with your bank. So you can have all of your Vasayo income going into that account. That's your business account. So you can have it all going into there. And then anything that's for the business, any deduction, which I'm going to go over the deductions, you'll just use from that account each time. And now you know exactly what your expenses were, when they were purchased, what they were for, and it goes right into Expensify. You guys, like, it's amazing. And you can even do a credit card. And if you're really good with credit, then I would suggest doing a credit card that has like points or cash back or miles or something like that. And then you just pay it off every month and all of that builds up and you're maximizing the benefits out of your card. Here's another one. Take my money is Mileage IQ. I don't know what I would do without this app. I resisted. I don't know why I resisted for the longest time paying $6 a month or $60 for the year to not have this app. I don't know why I resisted. Don't do what I did. Just buy it. And what it does is it tracks anytime you get in your car. So one of my nighttime activities is to go through and it tracks every drive. So one of my nighttime activities, I'm laying in bed and I go to Mileage IQ and it's like, was this a personal drive? Swipe to the left. Was this a business drive? Swipe to the right. And that's it. And then at the end of the year, it has all of your drives, all of which was business related. And I have to tell you, mileage is a major deduction. If you're just winging it or you're not documenting every mile you're driving, you're leaving so much money on the table. And what I mean by that is you're giving the government your money. So I hope that was straight up enough. And then one of my other organizational methods is to set up a monthly appointment in your calendar to get organized for that month in your taxes. Go through the purchases that you made. Make sure that you have gone through and done all of your mileage in the mileage IQ that's personal and business. And then it'll come December 31st and all your stuff will be done and you don't have to think at all about it. Oh boy, you guys ready? You ready for this? Deductions. Okay. So furniture and equipment. So actually, hang on. So what they do is they give, this is what my accountant gives me. Here's the breakdown into every little category when they go file your taxes. They break it down into the type of expense and like the account, I don't know. But she gives me this, and you know what I do? I'm going to show you this. I go into Expensify, and in Expensify, and I'll show you at the end of this PowerPoint, I go into Expensify and I set up categories for expenses. So literally at the end of the year, I read the total for auto expenses, for advertising. I'm like, doop, doop, doop. This is how easy your taxes could be if you just get a little organized, you make it easier on yourself. Like, I'm sorry, what is it? $5 a month and then $6, so $11 a month to not have to like stress about taxes at the end of the year. Yeah, I think so. So your first deduction is going to be furniture and new equipment. So did you get a desk for your office? Did you have to get a new chair? Did you buy a new phone? That's all a deduction, guys. Did you buy AirPods? Deduction. Did you have to get a printer? Did you buy a projector for an event? Did you buy a phone case? What about your pop socket? What about tempered glass for your phone? All of that are deductions. So every little bit adds up, right? Okay, next is going to be auto expense. So this is where you're going to earn 58 cents a mile for every mile that you're driving for your business. So the miles that you'll record are anything having to do with business. Did you go meet someone for coffee? Did you go to drive to drop off samples? Did you go meet someone at their house? Did you go, here's another one. Did you drive to go buy supplies for your business? That is all mileage that is business related. So that's why mileage IQ is so easy, because at the end of the night, or at least the end of the week, you're like, oh, okay, yep, went to Target, got printer paper, right? Went and met Julie for coffee. Just, it's easy. Okay, then the next category is advertising. So did you put up a Craigslist ad to try and get new people into your business? Did you use Facebook or Instagram ads? Did you create flyers? Did you go to vasayostore.com and buy banners or anything that's advertising, right? Did you purchase printed materials anywhere, right? That all can be considered advertising, which is a tax deduction. Okay, computer and internet. Did you have to get your computer repaired? Did you buy an external hard drive? Did you have to get a new computer? Did you have to buy any sort of software? And your internet bill. You can write off a portion of your internet bill every single month because you have a home office. So your office is, you take the room or about the space, the square footage in your house. And I'm going to be talking about this again in a little bit, but you take the square footage of your house that's dedicated for your office, and whatever percentage of that from your total square feet is the amount that you can deduct for things. So in terms of internet, how much of your internet do you think you're using for your business? Is it 30%? Is it 50%? Is it 70%? And that's the number, right? Your best guess, obviously. All right, next area of deductions is continuing education, seminars, and meetings. So the convention fee, deduction. Did you rent a hotel or event space? Deduction. Did you buy books? Like all of those Kindle books that you're buying, personal development books that you're buying, all of that is a write-off, right? Did you get some like online learning program, something like that that you paid for? Write-off. Okay, next category, dues and subscriptions. So did you purchase Canva to create images? Do you have a subscription to Audible that you listen to your personal development? Do you have Amazon Prime? That is a tax deduction. If you're buying stuff from Amazon for your business, deduct your Amazon Prime account cost. What about, like, I have the most amazing printer situation ever. This printer is an HP printer and it has what's called instant ink. I pay $10.69 a month for unlimited ink. They send me ink anytime I want. I can print as many pages as my little heart contends for $10.69 a month, right? So that's a subscription. Do you pay extra for Google? Do you pay for Dropbox? What about Mileage IQ? Do you have the Igniter? All of that goes in the category of dues and subscriptions. Do you see how many of these little things that you don't even really think about could be a tax deduction? Less money that you have to pay? Okay, here's another big one. Entertainment. So this is only a 50% deduction. So keep that in mind when you take, some prospects or contacts out to dinner and you pay for the whole thing at $200. Okay. It's only 50% deductible. So keep that in mind. 50% is better than nothing. However, it has to be something for business. So if you went and sat down with a friend, you sat down with a contact prospect, a person from your team, somebody else in Vasayo, if you talked about Vasayo at all, it is a write-off from a meal standpoint. If you are traveling, you're going to go to a meeting, like I'm talking about going up and visiting Leslie, like any meal that I eat up there is going to be a deduction. So obviously I'm going to keep track of that. Gifts. So when you give a gift to somebody that's a prospect, somebody in your business, one of your partners, it's a write-off. Like, that's why I love giving gifts, because you can write that off. Okay, office expense. Here's something else that was brought to my attention that's an expense for your business. If you had an office space outside of your house, right? You rented an office space. What would you, as the tenant in that office space, have to purchase to upkeep that office? Well, air filters for the AC, any repairs that you have to do to the office, bug killers, all that kind of stuff. Those are office expenses that are tax deductible. All right, so permits and licenses is another category, but you're not really going to have many of those. So postage, though, is another big one. So when you go and mail your samples, or you buy stamps and you send greeting cards to your team, you're sending greeting cards, right? It's okay, you can start now. So remember also that mileage to and from the post office, that is a deduction. If you use stamps.com, that's a subscription. All of that is a write-off. Professional fees, another category. So your accountant, whatever you pay for your accountant to do your taxes, that is all a write-off. If you pay for a coach, if You end up hiring lawyers. I don't know, like just professional services. Okay, supplies. So this is supplies for your business. So think like CBD cream containers, CBD oil sample containers, and then like typical office stuff, computer paper, pen, stapler, post-it notes, your planner, um, anything business like office supply related. That is a write-off. Printer ink, right? Event supplies, right? Okay. Telephone answering services, cell phone bill, the percentage that you use for your business. So if you think you use your phone 30% of the time for business, then take whatever you pay a month for your phone bill. Let's say you pay $150 a month, then 30% of that, what is, or something like, 50 bucks. You write off 50 bucks a month for your phone if you think you use it 30, right? Travel. So I was talking about travel just a second ago with like entertainment and stuff. But this would be your hotel, airfare, if you rented a car, if you did Uber, Lyft. But this travel category is not meals. Meals go under your entertainment. Travel is strictly if you rent a car, if you stayed in a hotel, like anything like that. Utilities. So back to thinking, if I was a tenant in an office space, what would I have to pay for in that office space? I'd have to pay for trash removal from the office space. I'd have to pay for AC, electrical. I would have to pay the water bill. So how you do that, like I was saying before, is you take the square feet of your dedicated office space. So let's say your office is 500 square feet and your house is 2,000. Right? For math purposes. Okay. So that's 25% of your home is taken up by your office space. So then you would take 25% of whatever your utility bill was for that month, and that is what your deduction would be for that particular month. Make sense? Okay. That's the end of the different categories. Thank God, right? End of the categories for different deductions. Here are my top tips, and we're going to be done. Number one tip is do not wait until the end of the year to do this. Oh my gosh. Talk about derailing your life, getting super stressed, irritable, like flustered and overwhelmed. Like you don't deserve that. Don't wait until the end of the year to try and figure it all out and have to go through all your accounts and look at your calendar. Where did I drive? And then you don't have enough deductions and you owe a crap ton of money. And you're like, oh man, should have paid attention. You don't want that. So don't wait till the end of the year. Like I said before, set a monthly appointment with yourself. Honestly, it should not take more than an hour a month. I mean, if you set yourself up with the right things that automated it for you and made it easy for yourself, it'd be like 15 to 30 minutes a month. And then at the end of the year, you just fill out your little thing and you have all of your receipts in its little thing for proof. Done. Like, that's so easy. Another top tip is, like I've been saying, use your resources and automate this process. Who gives a crap about $11 a month to have all of this, not have to worry about it, and maximize your deduction? Like, seriously, it's like one drink at a bar. Here's another big one. Document who and what for your expenses as much as possible. So here's a good one. So don't mind the fact it got ripped and I had to use tape and the things. It's just on my desk right now. So this is a USPS receipt for when I mailed Nancy Prafke a gift, right? So I put up here that it was USPS, and I mailed a gift to Nancy Prafke. I just put the date and then the amount. Now, the reason why I do this, I write it on the receipt, is for this last tip. So I'm not one that like just messes around with the government, right? I'd rather do it right and have all my ducks in a row. And so with that being said, how I approach my taxes and how I record them is, if I had to sit down with an auditor across from my desk and go over every single expense, what would I have to say about that? How would I justify all of these expenses to them? How would I justify the portion of my phone bill? The other thing is that your Vasayo products each month are a write-off. Whatever you initially, especially your initial purchase, getting started with the business, that is a tax write-off. So what I recommend for your Vasayo products is that you determine how much of these products you're using each month for yourself and how much you're giving away for samples. So my school of thought is 50-50. Sometimes it's on, sometimes it's a little less, sometimes it's a little bit more, but I feel I could sit across from an auditor and confidently say, I am spending half of the product that I'm buying for myself, and the other half I'm giving away as samples, right? So that's how I take every single expense. That's why I'm very diligent about writing on here. Right? I mean, this was Wendy's when I went and saw Kristy Smith in March, and I bought us Wendy's, $12.81, right? So I just like put all that stuff in there. So anyway, I hope that this has been helpful in ensuring that you get the maximum deductions for your business.